I want to say this publicly. I want to say this on the record. I want you to hold me accountable for this. My next self-imposed, completely unnecessary challenge is going to be to run 7 marathons in 7 days. That's like 160 miles in 7 days. But a marathon a day for a week. I want to do that sometime next couple of years. Hold me to it.
Why are you doing this?
The reason I'm doing this challenge is for myself. I want to test both my mind and body and just test the limits to see what's possible. I think I've been neglecting this for way too long, and I just want to see what I'm capable of achieving.
So what's your background in running?
Yes, my background in running. I barely started running about 16 months ago. I normally do maybe 2-3 months training plans and then maybe take a month or two off. And I've been doing that for the past 16 months. So, not that long that I've been running. I also ran cross country in high school, but I don't really consider that my running background because it's been 8 years since then. So my fastest marathon time is actually 4.5 hours. And it typically takes me around 3 days to recover fully. But, the next day I'm probably 80-90% capacity. The longest distance I've run up to this point is 50 miles, which I did back in February, so about 11 months ago. And that took me approximately 10 hours and 40 minutes. And, that also is the catalyst of what made me want to do this challenge. My main worry going into this challenge is my knee. Approximately 4 weeks ago, I hurt my knee being stupid at the gym. And because of that, I haven't been able to run for the past 4 weeks. And here I am about to run 7 marathons in 7 days. So I'm just worried how my knee will react because I haven't ran. And I'm also worried how my body will react. Because, when you take a break from running, it typically doesn't go well. So we'll see how the knee and the body keeps up. I know my body very, very well. And realistically, I think I could do maybe 3, possibly 4 runs before my body just gives out. But the whole point of this challenge is to do something I don't think I could do. So that's why I picked the number 7. 7 days in 1 week. And this is really going to test the limits and really test to see what I'm capable of when I'm not 100% certain I can complete it. The game plan for this challenge is to basically do 7 marathons in 7 days, and each day do it all in one go. So I know other people have done this challenge and they do 3 miles in the morning, 5 miles in the afternoon, and then maybe 20 later on. Me, I'm gonna do all 26 miles all in one go. So no pausing the stopwatch for anything. Not for lights, not for nutrition breaks, not for bathroom breaks, all in one go. And I also wanna keep all the time under 6 hours. I think 6 hours is a reasonable time to be able to complete a marathon. So 7 marathons, 7 days, under 6 hours each day.
What is up, you guys? Daniel here, about to do my first marathon of my 10-day marathon challenge. I feel good right now, legs are fresh. We'll see how I do, and then we'll see how my injury keeps up.
Day 1. I feel good, ready to destroy this run. The first 2 miles had me worried as my left knee injury was flaring up. After this, my body starts warming up and the pain goes away. That is until mile 18, where the injury comes into play again, where it feels like any abnormal step might rip something. Overall, this was a very good start with a 7 out of 10 effort overall, and a finish time of 5 hours and 19 minutes. After the run, I try eating, but for some reason my appetite just isn't there.
Hey guys, Saturday night. Just got done with my first run a couple hours ago. For some reason, my body just doesn't want to eat at all.
The run probably burned 4,000 to 5,000 calories, but I probably consumed 2,000 calories that day. Day 2, Christmas Eve. Wake up at 7 a.m. Knees are just super tight and swollen. A friend joins me for the first 9 miles of the run. We ran 10-minute pace for the first 9 miles, a decision I would later regret. After they leave, I slow my pace down to 12 minutes a mile. Left knee is acting up, and now my right knee and right calf are starting to act up as well. Overall, still pretty easy to what I thought the second day would bring. I even got a little cocky and said, "Is this it?" Mile 17, my hips start going out as well. I've dealt and learned to manage knee issues before, but the hips are something new that I'm not used to. My abs start going out as well. I guess I've been subconsciously flexing my abs for the past 2 days while focusing on my breathing technique. Overall, this was a great run. 6.5 out of 10 effort overall, and a finish time of 5 hours and 5 minutes. After the run, I still can't really consume food. I probably consumed 2,000 calories overall that day. Day 3. I wake up with intense abdominal and knee pain and slight ankle pain, but it's my hip flexor that is truly worrying me. Simply extending my leg and putting one foot in front of the other causes me great discomfort. I decide to take the first 2 miles very slowly as to not irritate anything or cause any permanent injury. The first few miles of this run were rather difficult, and I questioned for the first time why I am doing this. I continue pushing through. After a few more miles, my body and mind start warming up, and I get my confidence back. Overall, this was a rather more difficult run with an 8 out of 10 effort and a finish time of 5 hours and 38 minutes. But oh boy, was the body wrecked after this run. I tried sleeping after the run, but my abs and legs were in such great pain. I couldn't even fall asleep. Eventually I did sleep for 30 minutes only to wake up with a slight fever. I guess my body is finally starting to feel it. I tried eating as much as I could for the rest of the day, but my appetite just wasn't there. I guess my body didn't want to waste any energy on digesting food and wanted to focus as much energy on recovery.
Day 4 of running a marathon every day. Willpower is going out the window. I feel very, very exhausted. I just don't want to do this anymore. But this is where I have to push through and keep going.
I wake up after a 10-hour sleep cycle, only to lie in bed for 2 more hours contemplating running again. Everything hurts, and I just don't want to do this anymore. Anyway, I suck it up and push through. My knees are gone and my ankles feel broken. Every step causes me so much pain. After 2 miles, I can't do it anymore, and I stop at the house to get my knee pads and ankle brace. I need compression because my knees and ankles feel like they're falling apart and need something to hold them together. The pain is still there, but it's a lot more manageable. I continue running until my legs go numb. Overall, this was the worst run. I fought joint and ankle pain as well as a slight fever throughout the run. This run was the worst of all, with 9 out of 10 effort overall, and a finish time of 5 hours and 36 minutes. Day 5. I thought I was gonna wake up with even more pain, but for some reason I actually felt pretty good. My abdominal pain went away, and while my ankle and knee pain are still very much prevalent, the pain was no longer an obstacle. I was completely finished on day 4, but still managed to run. So when day 5 came, I was in a different mindset. I grabbed my knee pads and ankle brace and headed off to my run. Overall, this run was great, with a 7 out of 10 effort overall, and a finish time of 5 hours and 36 minutes. After the run, my appetite finally returns, but now the issue is my knee problems carry on throughout the day, and simply walking around or even sitting hurts, as I could feel the bone on bone. I take an ibuprofen hoping the swelling goes down by the next morning.
It's crazy. Your body just has a way of taking care of itself. Like every day I wake up and I'm like, there's no way in hell I could run. I run the first 2 to 6 miles. Legs feel like absolute crap. But then my legs just go numb, and I'm able to keep going for the rest of the miles until I hit 20, and then it's the same thing over again. It's just a mental battle. From 1 to 6 is the mental battle, from 20 to 6 is the mental battle.
Day 6. I wake up and it hurts to simply walk. I go to the kitchen and eat as much food as possible and then go back to the bed to try and get as much recovery before my 6th run. I push the run as late as possible. I start at 4 p.m. after I wake up from my nap. I grab the knee pads, an ankle brace, and then head off to the run. Around mile 6, the knee pads start failing me, so I stop home and wrap my knees with tape to get even more compression. This helps tremendously, and after a few more miles, my legs go numb and the pain goes away. Besides the knee issues at the beginning, this was probably one of the easier runs. Overall, this run was 7 out of 10 effort overall and a finish time of 5:36. While the run was great, the aftermath was absolutely terrible. My hamstrings felt like they were gonna rip out of my body, and I could barely walk for the first few hours after the run. Day 7. I start this run as late as possible to try to optimize my rest. I tape my knees and ankles, then put on my compressions and went on my run. The start of this run was probably one of the worst overall. Muscle fatigue had finally gotten to me. Up until this point, I only experienced joint issues, but now my leg muscles were finally beginning to fail me. I couldn't even run the first few miles without stopping. Every step felt like walking through quicksand. I continued walking and running for the next 3 miles. I start compromising with my original goal of completing each run within 6 hours. I start doubting myself. I'm going way too slow and I can't finish on time. After a few more miles, I persevere. I stop taking walking breaks and run it all the way through. Overall, the beginning of this run absolutely sucked, but after it wasn't so bad. 8 out of 10 effort overall and a finish time of 5:39. Overall, the beginning of this run sucked, but after it wasn't so bad. After the run, I thought I would be filled with emotion and pride, but I just felt very trivial about it.
Ready, bro?
Ready, Freddy.
Done differently now that you've completed this.
What I would have done differently is I would have taken more time to recover, so icing, massaging, hot and cold, stretching. The run was very tough and I had plans to do all these things, but after the run I was just too exhausted and just knocked out. I also would have forced myself to eat because for some reason during the run I just couldn't eat almost anything for the first 4 or 5 days. So I would have force fed myself so I could recover faster.
Now that you've completed the challenge, congratulations, by the way. How do you feel overall about it?
To be honest, I just feel very neutral and indifferent. I thought I would feel more joyous than happy and accomplished, but I just kind of feel whatever about it. The one thing I would say is I have a lot more confidence in my ability as a runner and as an athlete. And I know the next challenge, regardless of how difficult it could be, I know I will be able to accomplish it because this challenge took a lot out of me and I didn't think I was going to be able to complete it, but yet I persevered. So I know that will carry on for the next endeavor.
One sentence, what did you learn from this challenge?
The one thing I learned, I guess, would be how to be present. Every day was very, very difficult, and it would have been very easy to just say, I can't do this. I have so many days left of the challenge, but I never did that. I took it one day at a time, and every day I ended very, very tired, very, very sleepy, and just not wanting to do it anymore. but each day I woke up with just enough energy to do one more. So just being present in the moment and not worrying about tomorrow is what I really learned from this challenge.
So how did your knee behave during this challenge? Was it an issue?
To be honest, I think my knee injury actually ended up helping me, believe it or not. Because of my knee injury, I actually took 4 weeks off, and I gave my body ample time to recover before the challenge. Before the challenge, I was overtraining. I was constantly sore, constantly fatigued. But when I got the injury, I had to stop doing all that. So I think it helped my body prepare for this.
Anything you're concerned about?
To be honest, it's been about 2 weeks now since the challenge has been over, and my foot is hurt, my hip flexor is hurt. I'm not 100% recovered yet, and it's been 2 weeks. I think I might have some stress fractures, maybe some micro tears, but I'm just taking it one day at a time, and it's getting better and better each day. But this definitely took a beating on my body, and I just hope to make a full recovery. But we'll have to wait and see.